cook and clean for somebody that buys me bags.
And with no hose.
And I want to do spooky things. Watch movies. Hocus pocus.
Stuff like, I don't want to date a gold digger. Do you have gold to dig? No one's trying to dig.
Second rant of the day. What the f is dating so hard in this day?
Realize why we use dating apps. I feel like it's such an instant gratification. You feel like
What is it that incentivizes a providing man to continue to look for a good woman?
You want to talk about sacrifices? Let's get real. These men are out here giving their all, sacrificing time, money, energy, and their sanity for women who, in the end, stick a knife right in their backs. After all the effort they put in, what do they get in return? Disrespect, betrayal, and the cold shoulder. It's outrageous.
Okay, so I'm going on a date, so the top, the pants, and the heels are all from Zara. Jewelry is just random, and then I have hoops. All right, let's see how this goes.
I'm in a mood right now to be prioritized, to be loved, to be appreciated, to be cherished. Yeah, that's just what I'm in a mood for right now. And I don't think that mood's gonna change anytime soon. Yeah, I'm in a mood to get what I deserve. For sure.
If I'm gonna find a man, I need to be outside. But I don't like being outside, so I'm just gonna walk outside and hope that works.
50 years old, single, I'm dating, found nothing but lying assholes. Very confusing because I am a freaking delight to be around. Delightful. About to become an asshole.
I'm getting too old for the drug dealers and the scammers. Like, I want a stable man. I want a good man. I want a man that has money coming in legally. He's smart as shit. It could teach me stuff.
I would say good for you, right? But what I'm going to say is leave those guys alone because girls like that usually turn into girls like this.
Good morning, starshine. The earth says hello.
Absolutely nailed it. Women who have spent years in the toxic cycle, bouncing from one chaotic relationship to the next, just can't handle stability. They don't know what to do when they meet a man who's calm, reliable, and genuinely cares about them. It's like they've been conditioned to only thrive in drama and dysfunction. And you know what happens when they do meet that good guy? They sabotage it. Why? Because chaos is their comfort zone. That emotional roller coaster they're used to is the fuel they run on. But when they finally get someone who offers them peace and stability, they call it boring, ridiculous. And we all know the pattern. After they've been burned one too many times by these toxic dudes, they turn around and suddenly want the good man. But here's the kicker: by then, that good man has moved on. He knows better than to pick up the pieces of someone who only values him as a last resort. I don't fall into the trap of being their backup plan. If she didn't want you when things were rough, she doesn't deserve you now that she's realizing her mistakes. Be smart, and don't be a victim of her self-destructive cycle. Let's move on to the next clip.
I'm tired. I am. I just want to be loved in the way that I love others, you know? I just want to cook and clean for somebody that buys me bags.
Just as long as you know you're not getting that from me.
To understand something, men are not confused. Men know exactly what they want, how they want it, and it's in a man's nature to chase what he wants. So if a man is not chasing you, he does not want you. If a man is not reaching out to you, it's because he does not want to talk to you. If a man's not going out of his way to see you, it is because he does not want to see you. And that is the damn truth. And I want you guys to all understand that if a guy is not doing any of these things, just walk away and flourish. Flourish until someone else comes into your life that wants to talk to you, that wants to see you, that will go out of their way to see you and talk to you. And a man that is not too busy to spend time with you.
Absolutely spot on. Men are no longer giving their time, effort, or resources without getting something of real value in return. That we live in an age where men have become more selective because they've seen through the games, the entitlement, and the drama. It's no longer about just showing up or looking good. If a woman wants a man's attention, she has to earn it. And earning it means more than just looking nice for the gram. It's about respect, loyalty, and reciprocation. The men want to see that the woman they're investing in appreciates what they bring to the table and that she's capable of giving something valuable back. That you want to be pursued. Show that you're worth the chase. It's not complicated. Men want peace, respect, and appreciation. That's it. Yet so many women have turned dating into a battlefield of mind games and power struggles. As a result, many men are just pulling back, not even bothering to engage anymore. They've seen what's out there, and it's pushed them away from trying. For men, it's about self-respect now. They're no longer willing to sacrifice their energy for someone who doesn't value it. Let's move on to the next clip.
This is your reminder that men won't leave you crying, confused, and questioning your worth. That's a boy.
Y'all, where the regular men is that like to do regular stuff? I'm not talking about these new luxury men, these new type of men. I'm talking about old school dudes that like to do old school stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Where they at? Where the regular guys at?
Exactly. These men are minding their business, staying away from the drama, and keeping their peace intact. They've learned the hard way that getting involved in today's chaotic dating scene often leads to nothing but frustration and headaches. That's why so many of them are choosing to stay home, focus on their goals, and avoid the nonsense. And you're right, if they're not at home, a lot of them are looking overseas where they believe traditional values still hold strong. In many places outside the West, men find women who appreciate loyalty, respect, and commitment qualities that seem to be fading in modern dating. They're looking for genuine connections without the games, and they're willing to go wherever they need to find that.
Let's move on to the next clip.
Hi. I know I mostly make stupid TikToks, but I felt I need to say something because I've had a bad night.
I'm done with dating apps. I really am. I've been on a mission to try to meet a man out in real life because that's gotta still happen sometimes, right? But I will say doing this experiment has made me realize why we use dating apps. I feel like it's such an instant gratification. You feel like every single in LA is accessible on the palm of your hand. But I don't love that way of dating. And I really want to try to meet somebody the old fashioned way. But it's tough and it's hard to stay patient. But if you're following me on this journey, listen, we're still trying. We're not giving up.
I just feel like I need to address something. Women, why did you fight for rights to work? Like, what the fuck were you actually thinking at that time? Because, like, I hope you're happy. I hope you're proud of yourselves that I have to get up and I have to go to work when I could have been just sitting in the kitchen. I hope it hunts you because fuck you.
You're absolutely hitting the nail on the head here. Many women bought into the narrative that being strong and independent meant rejecting traditional roles, but now they're realizing the hard truth. It's exhausting trying to do it all. The grind of full-time work, combined with the pressures of modern life, has proven to be mentally and physically draining. For a lot of women, the dream of having it all has turned into a heavy burden, and they're rethinking those choices. It's true that societal pressures played a big role in pushing women toward independence, but the reality is hitting harder than expected. The idea of staying at home, cooking and focusing on family doesn't seem so bad now in comparison to the stress and burnout many are experiencing. What if some are starting to see the value in traditional roles, realizing that there's nothing wrong with focusing on family, home life, and being a partner? And you're right, men aren't to blame here. This was largely a societal push, Wilhelmina. And now as the consequences of that narrative unfold, many women are finding out that the grass isn't always greener. Let's move on to the next clip.
So it turns out my husband doesn't love me anymore. How did I figure this out, you ask? Well, it's quite simple. Every day since we moved in together, I have woken up to a text message that says, "Good morning, my love. I hope you have an amazing day." The only day I don't get this is on Sunday because he's off. Also, every morning he kisses me on my forehead. It's not anything crazy, but it's like enough to not wake me up too much, but just a little bit to know, like, I love you. So what did I get this morning? Absolutely nothing. Not a text message, not a kiss, not a phone call, not a notification, not a pat on the shoulder. Who hurt you? What did I do to you? Are we fighting? Are you mad at me? Do you not love me anymore? Are we not married? Are we divorced?
Where's the heck to a girl when you need her? No, in all seriousness, it's not because he just suddenly doesn't love you. It's most likely because he was stressed or running late, but there is a slight chance that maybe he's upset at you. And if that's the case, the best question to ask yourself is not what have you done to him, it's what haven't you been doing for him. Damn, maybe we do need the heck to a girl.
Exactly. Reciprocity is key in any relationship. When a man is constantly giving his time, effort, affection without receiving the same level of energy in return, it starts to feel like a one-sided exchange. It's easy to see how this imbalance can wear someone down over time. Men, just like anyone else, need to feel appreciated and valued. And when it's always the man doing the nice gestures and the woman isn't reciprocating in some way, it feels more like taking advantage than building a real partnership. Let's move on to the next clip.
I have been on dating apps for the last 2 years. I'm just so tired of them. I feel like it doesn't get me anywhere, or it's like really bad on my self-esteem, whatever. Girls, I know you get it. But I have a bunch of weekends off. I don't work another weekend until the end of October, and I wanted to make the most of my time. So it was like, let's try and meet someone in the wild and just like put yourself out there more. So if you have any recommendations of like types of places to go on the weekends to really just like read or get work done, that I could possibly meet someone at, like a coffee shop or a park or something. Like, do you guys have tips? Do you guys do this? Can you share some advice, please?
So it's another year, another fall, and guess what? Guess what? I'm still single. Do you want to know why? Oh, I'll tell you why. It's because you won't stop playing games. But guess what I want to do? I want to go to an apple orchard and pick apples off a tree. And then I want to go carve pumpkins. Okay? That's what I want to do. And I want to do spooky things. Watch movies. Hocus pocus. But we can't do that until you're done playing games. Alright? So will you do that for me? Please, for the love of God, let's get spooky.
Exactly. If you're putting yourself out there on platforms like OnlyFans, it says a lot about where your priorities are, especially when it comes to relationships. A man who takes himself seriously isn't going to want to invest in a woman who's making her private life public for everyone to see. It's about respect and self-worth. If a man sees that you're more interested in getting attention from random people online than in building something real and meaningful with him, he's going to check out mentally. Let's move on to the next clip.
Think that it's outdated to expect a man to pay for the first date.
Actually, I think men should always pay. There's a subset of men who believe in 50-50, but they don't have 50-50 criteria. Are they dating women who don't wear?
Listen up. This isn't just entertainment for you to scroll through mindlessly. This is a wake-up call. I want you to observe carefully and learn from what I'm sharing because I don't want you to go through the same pain and betrayal I did. Every story you hear, every lesson I share is a piece of armor against the games these women play. If you've got experiences of your own, if you face the heartbreak, the lies, the manipulation, don't stay silent. Share it in the comments or email me directly. Your story could be the lifeline that helps another brother avoid the same fate. Together we can build a fortress of knowledge and strength. So don't just watch, engage, share, and let's learn from each other. This is how we break the cycle. Let's continue.
Any makeup? Are they dating women who don't look incredibly nice compared to him on the date? Like, there is an economies of dating. Also, they think stuff like, I don't want to date a gold digger. Do you have gold to dig? No one's trying to dig your gold if you paid for it.
Exactly. The expectations some women have these days are ridiculous. Expecting a man to pay for a babysitter so she can go on a date. That's crossing a line. It's almost like saying, if you want a chance with me, you have to bankroll my life first. And that's not how dating works. Dating is about getting to know someone, not about what you can get from them. Back in the day, sure, men were expected to take care of most things financially, but times have changed, and women today are independent, working and earning their own money. Yet somehow, some still cling to these old school expectations when it benefits them, but reject traditional roles when it doesn't. If you're serious about dating, you come prepared to take care of your own life and contribute to the experience, not exploit someone else for financial gain. The line needs to be drawn right there. It's about mutual effort, not one-sided demands. Let's move on to the next clip.
And with no hose. Where are you? What are you doing?
Working, chilling, and probably ignoring people.
Can someone explain to me what it is that men get in return for being a providing man? I'm talking about the men that show up emotionally, physically, financially, and never complain because they take pride in providing for the woman in their life. It actually makes them feel good to see the women in their lives happy. What do they get in return other than these narcissistic, nagging, controlling women? These women will put everything on the internet. Outfit of the day goes on the internet. Relationship in trouble, go to the internet. Dating advice, go to the internet. Horrible dating scene, go to the internet. What is it that these women are giving in return if they don't want to cook, they don't want to clean, they don't want to have children, they don't want to give anything in return other than simply existing and looking pretty? And the majority of women are not even attractive enough to be having a laundry list of expectations. Let's just be fucking for real. You take off the filters, you take off the Botox, you take the lip filler away, you take the lashes away. You have not an attractive woman. Or at least not a 10 out of 10 like these women have their inflated egos. So you get to be treated like shit. You get to be called narcissistic. If you have money, she's going to call you broke. She's going to pretend that she's like this victim, but behind the scenes, you're providing for her while she sits on her phone and seeks attention from other men. So tell me, what is the incentive for these men to continue to provide for these women who do nothing but shit on them all day long? And then if they actually decide to commit to these women because these women love to put on a show and know how to fake a good personality to get the ring or get the bag, then he actually runs the risk of losing everything that he works so hard for. These women are not worth paying for submission. So make it make sense. What is it that incentivizes a providing man to continue to look for a good woman? Okay, bye.
Absolutely. It's a harsh reality for many men who are conditioned to believe that being a real man means endless sacrifice and providing without question. What are they really getting in return? More often than not, it's not respect or gratitude, it's being taken for granted. These men pour their hearts and souls into their relationships, only to find themselves used and discarded. They work tirelessly to build a life, provide for their partner, and fulfill what society expects of them, only to watch it all crumble in a divorce. After years of hard work, they're left with nothing, no home, no assets, and often, they end up losing time with their own children. It's devastating. Society needs to wake up and acknowledge that this cycle is not only unfair but also damaging. Men are not just cash machines, they deserve appreciation and respect for their contributions. Let's move on to the next clip.
Second rant of the day. Why the fuck is dating so hard in this day and age? Like, I have worked too hard on myself to settle for anything less, which I'm very proud. But why the like, I told this guy, he's like, oh yeah, like I want to take you out this weekend. I was like, oh yeah, great. Hey, but you should know, like I do live a little bit further than I thought. So it's about like a 35 minute drive, which I completely understand. If anything, I'm like, oh yeah, like come out here. We could find something to do out here. He said, yeah, we could fit a meet in the middle. What the fuck do you mean we can fit a meet in the middle? Meet in the middle of where? You asked me on a date and you want me to drive to you? I'm sorry, that's not happening. That's not finna happening. So you expect me to go on a date with you that you asked me on, you want me to drive to you, and you can't even use the right grammar. My money is you wouldn't even open a single door for me. That's not gonna happen, is it? Sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Why the fuck would I be sorry? You were raised wrong. You're telling me that your mom didn't teach you should open a single door for a woman? That's literally less than the bare minimum. People do that for fucking random strangers, and you're telling me you can't do it for a girl you're interested in taking on a date? How do you even go about that? Like, what if you're, like, for me, if a guy were to come and pick me up on a date, and he's like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. He comes and picks you up, and he doesn't even get out of the car. I'm gonna just stand there and stare at him and be like, this door's not gonna open itself. Call me fucking princess, call me fucking prima donna, I don't care. I don't care. That's literally the least you could do.
This narrative needs to change. Instead of reinforcing the idea that men should selflessly provide without expectation, we should encourage a more balanced view of partnerships where both parties contribute and appreciate each other's efforts. When a man's hard work leads to heartbreak and loss, it makes a lot of them reconsider the entire idea of commitment and sacrifice. This cycle of being undervalued and exploited cannot continue. It's time to redefine what it means to be a real man and promote healthier, more equitable relationships. Look, I know what you're going through. The games, the lies, the cheating. I've been there, betrayed, manipulated, left to pick up the pieces. I built this community because I refused to let that be my story anymore. And now I'm here for you, just like the other brothers standing with you, Stott. This isn't just another video. This is your escape from the madness, a place where you'll find men who've been through the exact same thing. I see you, brother. And when you join us, I'll be there, your real friend, ready to help you fight back and rise stronger. Hit that subscribe button, join the brotherhood, and stop playing their game. Welcome to Protective Perspective, where men take back their power.